thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. Killing the game and I gotta go ask anybody, they all heard about it. They know when the kid and he's spitting it, know when he getting it, bit and I get in my way. Got this, I like do whatever I say, cause I could go put you on blast. People been mad at me cause I don't follow them back. I'm laughing cause that is so whack. Why they all trying to act like they been bossing when really their boss has been bossing them up? Nobody ever been telling me what I would do when I keep in the cash, right the shit out of luck. I want it more, now I get what I wish. Upgrading now with some pants that I whip. Making 6 figures, don't talk about it. Money ain't shit, it's about how you think. Tired of people who making excuses, then they complain about losing. Tell me about what you been doing, tell me about how you been moving. You ain't got nothing to prove then. I did it all on my own, they looking like all of my clones. I don't be following trends, fuck all the popular clothes. You faking and everyone knows. I just be keeping it real, they thinking that I have to go sign a deal, but really the people just found an appeal. I'm in my own lane and I'm steering the wheel, ayy. It's funny how it goes, funny how it goes. Working every night till the sunrise.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. No false finish. The final season, episode 9. We have none other than one half of the former Peruvian Warriors, one of the XCW Crusaders in the legendary EBW XCW storyline, an XCW Hall of Famer, XCW World Champion, XCW International Champion, XCW Tag Team Champion. The list of Matt Chencho's accomplishments go on. I am excited to have you join me for the final season. Are you ready, sir?
Kinda. I'm a little nervous.
Alright, well, nothing too bad, I don't think. Normally we start off with a question about what's life like in the XCW locker room. Obviously, you have not been a part of XCW for a few years, so what's Matt Chencho's life been like outside of XCW?
Well, I just recently had a kid.
Congratulations.
She's, 11 days old now. You know, wanting to be a dad. It's been a little hectic. A lot less sleep.
Can imagine. Alright, you also used to be a former member of the United States military.
Mm-hmm.
How was life like that inside the military?
A little good, a little bad. I met a lot of great people. A lot of people I probably don't want to see again. A lot of leadership I hated.
Matt Chencho, in past few years, when you kind of came back into our lives not looking like the Matt Chencho we all know and love, you got the fucking beard, you got the hair. Do you think when you were in the military that you developed a drinking problem?
I would probably say so, yeah. The corps I joined was very big on drinking. We had our own drinking song. It was
Cynical developed a big drinking problem and then too, so.
I drank like a fish.
Alright, so we're gonna get into the good questions. What's the worst weapon shot you ever seen in your time in XCW or just watching the show?
Probably gonna say when Hazard hit, I think it was
The chair shot?
No, it was he had a 4x4 with barbed wire wrapped around it. He hit someone clean across the face with it. I forget who it was. I almost want to say it was
hit somebody in the face. I don't remember that.
I think who was it?
Jesse, maybe?
It might have been Jesse.
I mean, Jesse probably would have took it to the face. He's a weird guy. Worst weapon shot you ever took? Hopefully not 2x4 to the face.
I hope not. That hurt me. I'm a little bit more fragile than Jesse.
That you are.
Worst chair shot? No, worst shot I ever took?
Yeah, worst weapon shot you ever took.
I can't. I want to say it was a chair shot to the ribs. Honestly, I think. They got me right in that sweet spot. Took my breath away.
It's sometimes when it comes to wrestling, it's like you'll fucking take a chair shot and you'll get hit with a crutch or whatever, and it's just the tiniest little things that hurt the most. Like, don't care if nobody besides the weed eater. As of now, the weed eater is the worst thing I've taken in my life. But for the longest time, it was the screen of a square box fan. Smittley hit me in the face, and it cut me down my temple and my nose. And you know me, I'm pretty big into not breaking character at all.
Right.
But I legit almost broke character to whoop Smiley that day. As we move on, you were integral in the EBW XCW storyline. How was it for you that you were handpicked to be one of the people to be involved in such a big storyline like that?
I was very proud to be part of that. To me, I was still trying to. I was still semi-new, not new, but I still felt like I had.
You were still within your first few years.
Yeah, I still felt like I had stuff to prove, and it gave me a big chance to prove exactly what I could do.
Because you and both your former tag team partner at this point, Zach Washington, kind of put in the spotlight there. Like you said, you both started at the same time. Mm-hmm. We're a tag team, split up. You big into the XCW part of the teams, but your cohort, Zach Washington, joined the real ranks, the EBW part.
Here we go.
And we're going to get into that. Did you prefer wrestling with Zach Washington as your tag team partner, or did you prefer being able to get that single spotlight?
I like the single aspect of it. I feel like if me and Zach had stayed around together a little longer, maybe developed a little more, it could have been something more special. But I did very well enjoy being a single superstar.
For some of the people that don't know, Matt's former tag team partner was Zach Chencho.
Yes, sir.
But once he came back as a single self, it became Zach Washington. During that big heyday with EBW, you suffered an injury at some point, and I won't say you were forced because you agreed. You wrestled in a boot.
I did. I did.
How difficult was it to wrestle in that boot because it was a cage match?
It was very difficult. Climbing the cage was difficult.
You wrestled Brandon Hobbs too, I'm pretty sure. And Brandon Hobbs is not easy to work with.
Oh yeah, he was trying everything he could to take out my ankle. The already damaged one. It might have been more sense for him to do the other one, so I couldn't walk. But as hard as it was to wrestle in, it also became a weapon. My foot was heavier. I could use it. It was covered in hard plastic. I used it as a weapon plenty of times.
We also never claimed Brandon Hobbs to be the smartest.
I've never seen anyone compete, especially in a world title match, with a walking boot. So this is going to be interesting.
Here we go.
He's going for the Pele again.
Hardcore Hobbs.
No, Brandon, no. Working on that leg. That injured leg of that Chencho.
Beautiful. Smart tactic from Hardcore Hobbs.
Oh, my.
Oh, Dragon Whip.
What's he setting him up for? Oh, my God.
Oh, the Omega Driver.
You're right, the Omega Driver. Couple weeks ago,
Oh, my God.
the hardcore overdrive.
Oh, my God. Good for Hobbs. Bad for Chencho.
That diving headbutt.
That's true.
I believe you lost that match. And then after that match, I'm pretty sure it was for the world title.
Yes.
After that match, we beat the holy piss out of Brandon Hobbs, so we kind of got it back for you in a weird way. So you should thank EBW, right?
It did raise my spirits a little bit. I just suffered a pretty big loss.
You've done many things in your career, like I mentioned at the start of the show. But a lot of people, they don't think very highly of like backyard wrestling. It's not important or whatever. But XCW has been, as I stated in a promo, we just recorded Cold Day in Hell 2023 as of yesterday. And I stated XCW is almost hitting that 20-year mark coming up in like March, April.
Yeah.
And 20 years going strong. We've had a lot of people come and go. So to people like myself, Fletch, Cynical, Rest of Soul, Benji, the XCW Originals, the Legends, the Hall of Fame means quite a bit to us. But what does the XCW Hall of Fame mean to you? Because you were also, last year, inducted officially into the XCW Hall of Fame.
Well, to me it meant a lot. I felt like my career was a little short.
Yeah, because you also, even though he was kind of a short speech, you also got inducted by Benji, a legend.
Yeah, Benji, he was one of the guys that helped train me, get my foot in the door. Fletch, Hazard, all of them really, helped me get to where I felt comfortable in the ring. They definitely helped me with promos. My first few promos were complete, ass. Sugarcoated. It was ass.
Well, Chris Jones has had a couple very bad ones. I think probably top 10, if you go top 10 worst XCW promos of all time. I cut a promo in 2005 about a table match with Vapor. And I was kind of transitioning into being the good guy character, and I hadn't, it's so easy to make people hate you. It's a lot harder to make them love you.
It is.
So I was cutting this promo on Vapor, and this promo, I said I was going to frog splash him through a table, and we couldn't get this fucking piece of wood to break that we used for a table. We could not break it. It got to the point where I tried to put myself through it. I didn't care. I was supposed to win. I didn't care if I lost. We just tried to get this table to break. The one thing I didn't do was frog splash Vapor through that table. So I feel you on the promos.
This crazy thing is, it might have worked if you frog splashed him through.
It might have, because Vapor wasn't a small guy. He's probably 220 back then. What's the favorite match you've ever seen in XCW?
Favorite match I ever seen? That's so hard. There's been so many good matches. I want to say it was probably with Fletch and Corey Lee. Fletch,
you have to be more specific. We've all wrestled each other a lot.
I know. I'm trying to think about it here for a second. Fletch was coming from, his leading XCW, and he was kind of, Emily was taking over. He was becoming, the bad guy Fletch. He was becoming heel. They just had so many good matches, and I think it was for the EBW championship. What championship was it?
It wasn't the EBW championship.
It was something.
Undisputed, maybe. I think it was Undisputed.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was Undisputed Championship. And
it could have been the beginning of 2013.
I want to say, yeah.
Because that was when Fletch and Corey Lee were wrestling, and then I came back and interrupted their match, and me and Fletch ended up wrestling for that championship. So
that's pretty. I think that's the one.
I know Zach what you're talking about now.
It was just exciting, a lot of back and forth.
Favorite match you've been in?
My favorite match.
You've had a lot of excellent ones. You've had a couple stinkers.
I want to say. God, it's so hard to remember some of these because they all kind of blend in. But it was when I was heel. Had just became a solo superstar, and I did a match, and I was supposed to be playing heel, but by the end of the match, I was actually getting applauded. I forget which one it was. It was for, I think, number one contender. Or it might have been for, I think it was for a contendership. But
I don't remember exactly per se when you and Zach broke up, but
I know it was probably my favorite matchup because I think that's when everything kind of started clicking for me, as how to lead a match, how to be in one, how to do the transitions. I think that's when everything clicked, and that's why it was my favorite, because it opened my eyes to where this is something I can do, not just
Hazard's dad, if you know Big Rod, he's a big fan of being bad. He loves those bad guys. So if you were getting applauded and you were supposed to be a heel, I guarantee Big Rod was probably the one clapping for you. All right, we got this last question for the break. All right, don't normally do dark matches. Just not something I do. There's got to be a big reason or something special. For example, I wrestled a dark match against Evan Phoenix before he went to Basic.
Yeah.
So he wasn't scheduled on the card. I told Josh I wrestled a match. I put him over. We thought was going to be his last match. I put him over. You came back. I don't remember what year.
17.
But we were wrestling at Phil's house.
Yeah.
You had a match with myself, and I knew Matt Chencho was coming back. Of course I'm going to fuck him. I don't care. I'll be in it.
Yeah.
And Corey Lee.
That was fun.
We had a hellacious triple threat dark match, which some devastating moves were given. You had me fucking sitting in the ropes, kicking the shit out of me in the chest.
Yep.
And man, let me tell you, Matt's kicks fucking suck.
It's my favorite thing to do to people.
But there's also moves where I put you up in the corner. I gave you that top rope hurricanrana.
Oh yeah, that was definitely painful.
What is your memory of this match, and how did it feel to be able to come back, seem like no ring rust, be able to perform with two people the caliber of Corey Lee and Chris Jones? You also wrestled Hazard after that too.
Yeah, I do. The Hazard match I remember specifically. We had a great finish to that, but it was just, I don't know, if I felt going into it that I was going to have a ring rust, it wasn't going to be the, standard matches I used to have. But like once I got in the bell ring, it was just, everything kind of clicked back into place.
We even practiced the Mexican Destroyer before you came back to make sure you could still do the backflip and everything.
Yeah, that's because that's probably my favorite move to take. I don't know why.
I think it's one of Josh's favorite moves to take, even though very exclusive occasions does he ever get to take that move.
Yeah, but that's probably my favorite part actually when we did it in the match, because that was the thing I was worried about the most, because doing it before practicing and then doing it in match after going through everything, sometimes you get fatigued and the move doesn't come out necessarily the way you want it to. I was just so happy that move came.
The funny thing is that top rope hurricanrana, like, you just trusted me so much, and I will tell you now, I had never practiced that. That was the first time Chris Jones ever did a top rope hurricanrana. You were the test dummy.
I'm pretty sure I was aware of that, because at that point in time I knew you had never. I hadn't really seen you do one off the top rope, so I figured.
The last time we tried to do a big hurricanrana like that, you and LOL at a cage match, and me thinking I'm superhuman. We don't have like the flat top of the cage. We had like just
that bar.
The circular bar. That was when I tried to run across and then give you the hurricanrana, and I almost there, and I fucking fell. So I just climbed up real quick and did it.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna hurt yourself when you fell. Honestly, I was like, oh, if he falls, the match might be in sooner than we hoped.
Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. And with that, we're gonna go to our first commercial break.
For the faint of heart, this night ain't for the faint of heart, 'cause the faint of heart gon' fall apart. Ain't no love when the wicked run, all we do is get laid off. Hey oh, we the wicked ones.
At least. Two very jumpy, high-flying superstars in Matt Chencho and LOL. There it is, this spinning knockout. Oh, and the arm breaker down. Nice moonsault inside of the cage there. Set him up for. There's the SOS. What the hell? No, oh my God. There it is, the previous
Chencho there.
Got them all tied up in the ropes.
And let me tell you about those kicks. Those kicks are vicious.
Just
God
as deadly as they
damn.
look.
And
okay.
Corley, nice
Good.
German.
Oh, to be looking for that flipping pile
Nice.
driver. Oh, that's
Lee.
Celine Del Sol.
And using Corey Lee.
God damn,
Has
this
that-
seems unnecessary.
Nice.
Holy tree
shot
well
there.
What a... Oh
Nice
my
drop
goodness.
kick there. Nice.
Oh, is that an FML?
A Peruvian
There's
cutter.
a Peruvian cutter. Is this it?
It's it.
One,
two,
two,
three.
and that's it.
That Chencho.
And we're back. We might as well just call you Big Match Matt. You've been involved in some of the biggest XCW storylines. You've had several big matches as a wrestler, but you also had a very important match, and I don't think you understand the importance of a match that you were the special guest referee for. Do you know what match I'm talking about?
No.
SummerMania 2020.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Chris Jones,
Yes, sir.
The Fletch,
I do kind of
Last time ever, end of an era. And you got to be the special referee for a match like that. What kind of importance do you think that brings for like yourself being able to be a part of that? Because that's the last time Chris Jones and Fletch will ever wrestle.
True.
And what type of importance you think that leaves on the locker room for the other newer guys?
Well, first, I just want to say it was, now that you kind of, reminded me of it, it was probably very special. It's very special to be like you guys have had so many different matches going back almost 20 years, it seems like. I think it was very special to me, especially at the time, because it was an end of an era. It was the last time we were going to see two of the best, two Hall of Famers at the same time in the same ring, and you get to be part of that special moment for you guys. And I think it was very important because my career might not have been very long, and careers always, they could be long, they could be short, but it gave some of the newer guys like, hey, it might not take me long to be in that position with you guys, be trusted with you guys. And I think that was probably the most important thing for them.
Yeah. At that point, in XCW specifically, 16 years since I had entered XCW, so I've been wrestling Fletch pretty much for 16 years.
Yes, sir.
I mean, mentally we wrestle outside XCW sometimes too, but
I think you guys still mentally wrestle.
we're chain wrestling right now in our minds. What are you
Yep.
talking about? But a very important match. I think it leaves important legacy for everybody else because me being retired now, and Fletch and I, he's still wrestling, but he's
Mid-card.
slowed down. Fletch is as of yesterday international champion.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just giving him
Beat-
shit.
beat-
You know I love him.
Beat Void straight up. Anyone that you don't like or that you hate from your time in XCW or now? Be very weird and awkward if you said Zach Washington.
No, not Zach.
Just kidding.
I
Love
think-
Zach.
What was his name? What was his name? I can't remember his name.
What'd he do?
We had a match. It was, he wanted to take the same move Hazard did in the dark match with me. He went to punch, he spun me around, and I turned it into one of my Trouble and Lena's. What was his name? He didn't wrestle very long, but I just didn't like wrestling with him. He was an okay person.
Do you know any of the moves that he did?
I couldn't tell you because we had just one or two matches, and they were all right. It was still kind of in the beginning for me as I was learning. Crisis.
Good old Chris's.
Yeah, he's an okay person. I didn't like wrestling with him. He was very stiff. Always middle of a match, I wanted to actually kick him in his fucking face sometimes, but
Yeah, he was pretty fresh back then too, I believe.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I never really, gave him too much of a hard time. But at the same time, I felt like being new as well, he could have been a little bit less stiff than he was. I don't know, maybe it's just different opinion in mine, but
Who do you think is the worst XCW wrestler of all time?
I thought that's a loaded question. He's trying to get me to come back.
Everybody gets these questions. There's like a set 6, then it's all sprinkled.
The worst, I want to say Venom.
Okay.
I want to say or
Who?
Maverick.
Mitchell Maverick?
Maverick. He was pretty bad too. He had like the easiest move set and was like, you do 6 moves real quick and then he'd be lost, and you basically just have to end the match because he would be like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
2 first of entries. I don't think we've ever had any of those. That's interesting. Now, the flip side, who do you think's the best wrestler of all time?
Again, he keeps giving me these loaded questions.
Everybody gets these questions.
I don't know. I'd have to say either you or Fletch. Corey Lee was up there. You guys are probably like my top 3, and Tommy, top 4. Those are my top 4.
All 4 common answers.
I don't
know why you say these questions are loaded. Everybody gets the same question.
I know, but I feel like someone's gonna get butthurt. I just know it. Someone always gets butthurt. They all want to be the best, but not everyone can be the best.
Not everybody can live up to XCW's Mount Rushmore. Explain what happened with your injury and your XCW departure, because you were supposed to come back and start wrestling again, whether it be for a limited time or whatever it was. You ended up getting hurt and you departed XCW.
Well, so it was supposed to be, very simple thing, and it's not something I haven't done before. Tommy grabbed me. He was supposed to throw me out between the ropes. I guess I had my feet pointed the wrong way and they got caught, so I came down flat on my shoulder. Tore the ligament holding my shoulder to my collarbone. It took longer to heal than I wanted. Work at the time dropped me from insurance, so I never fully got it fixed. Like, I could take my shirt off and my shoulder looks like it has Down syndrome. So then after that, life just kind of happened. I just have people I have to take care of, and it's not easy just to come wrestle whenever I'm willing to do it. I do, but it's just not easy. I have other people I have to take care of now, so it's life.
Definitely our life is. Sometimes the weirdest random injuries can happen. Corey Lee goes to give somebody a knee that's in the rope, tears his ACL. Stupid Brain Hobbs does a moonsault, breaks his fucking foot, ankle, leg, neck, whatever. And James Cerebral jumps off the roof thinking Brain Hobbs is gonna catch him, breaks his ankle. That was stupid, but sometimes just the weirdest things. Fletch takes a belly to belly, but Venom doesn't get him all the way over, fucks up his shoulder. Speaking of getting hurt, you were once thrown into a cornfield. How did that feel? Because it sounded very nasty.
It hurt at the time, but not as much as you'd think. Probably the worst part about it was how itchy it was, because I think it had just been sprayed with pesticides or whatever. My skin was on fire and itched every fucking day. Everywhere.
The bad thing is, for people that don't know, Matt also 98% of the time wrestled without a shirt on.
Yes.
So you gotta think the bare skin of all that pesticides and stuff that was in the corn.
Oh my gosh, I was itching for days.
We've had a few people periodically wrestle out shirts, and we had a recent wrestler, Ref Ken, started wrestling in the past couple years. And when he first started, wasn't intelligent enough to know should wrestle without a shirt on, wrestle with a shirt on. So he also started wrestling without a shirt on. But after getting chopped by people and wrestling a few times in the cold, Miano Diaz now wears a shirt like a smart person.
The only time I wore shirts really was when it was too cold. I bitched out a little bit. I gotta admit to that.
I mean, I even wore long sleeve shirts under my t-shirts before, so it happens. A lot of people might not know, but you have a Peruvian heritage.
I do. I'm actually half Peruvian on my mom's side.
And I had to include this. Usually for Summer Mania, we kind of pull out. It's supposed to be the biggest show of the year. And one year, I had the big entrance. Everybody knows Chris Jones. Big Chicago Bulls fan.
Big showman.
I loved sports entrance, so they played the big Chicago Bulls entrance came out. All the EBW people, just like it was gearing up for a basketball game.
Yep, I remember.
big EBW chant, everything.
Straight out of not Looney Tunes, Space Jam.
Yeah. You also had a special entrance that show.
Oh, that was embarrassing.
I don't think, including my heritage, in my entrance is embarrassing. But the question is, how was it being able to include something as important as your heritage, being half Peruvian, like you said, into something that you loved to do at the time in wrestling?
It was something I really enjoyed to do. My grandparents actually went to Peru that summer, and I had them make something for me, specifically for WrestleMania.
Summermania.
I'm slow today. But when I say embarrassing, I just felt like I didn't perform that as well as I could have.
You didn't own it.
I didn't own it. I should have owned it, and I didn't own it. And that's why it's embarrassing. But I enjoyed adding, that heritage, because not many people around here are Peruvian.
Yeah, that's not something we get to experience enough. Someone being able to incorporate an actual real life heritage into their entrance. Like, we have people that play like they're from Canada. We have people play like they're from Ireland and stuff like that. But that's not in real life who they are. You really are half Peruvian. And to me, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's just something. And my name actually came from a friend of mine and my mom's. He had passed away that year I had started wrestling. Chencho was actually his name.
I actually didn't know that. That's pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
What hobbies does Matt Chencho have outside wrestling? You said that you got a family to take care of, an 11-day-year-old baby girl. So what do you get to do for fun outside wrestling when you do have fun?
Well, lately it's been more like family oriented. We've been playing board games more. Me and my girlfriend's son, he loves video games. We've been playing the new wrestling game.
WWE 2K22?
Yes. He's currently obsessed with that game.
I actually did a review. Go check out lordsgaming.net. Search it up.
Yeah, but that's kind of been our hobby. And, when the weather gets nicer, we go on hikes. Sometimes we hit a movie.
Okay. Now, the question everybody wants to know, including the man behind the can.
Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Will we ever see Matt Chencho in a ring again? Whether it be one show, special entrance, Extreme King, a dark match, will we see Matt Chencho in the ring again?
I want to try to make that happen. I really do. Things are just hectic for me at the moment. Hopefully, one day.
Fans, keep your fingers crossed. Say your prayers to whoever you worship. Maybe one day. Hypothetically speaking, if you were to come back and have that one match, who would you like to work with? And what kind of match would you want? It can be anybody. Current roster, retired, not wrestling anymore. Your choice of the law.
For me, I'd have to say probably Hazard. I want to do another match with Hazard. We had a dark match that I wish we could incorporate into an actual show.
Yeah. Let's pick a second choice too, because I don't think
that'll ever happen.
as of recent events, I don't think we can make that happen.
Yeah.
But Pick a second choice. Too. Hazard's obviously a good choice. You guys have a lot of history together.
Yeah.
He loves being kicked in the face by you.
That was his favorite thing. I think for me, it would be probably you. I'd like to do another match with you.
You've never actually wrestled Chris Jones.
Yes, exactly. That's probably why.
Only my alter. Everybody knows Chris Jones played LOL, so you've only wrestled my alter characters. You never wrestled me.
Yes, and I think that would be something I'd want to do because I wrestled your alter egos, but I've never actually wrestled you as yourself.
Outside the match with Andy.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like I'd want something special to it. If not, just around special circumstances. Like
If I won, you have to come back permanently. If I lost, I would have to come back permanently.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
I mean, I'm retired. You're big into the family life. I think that'd be pretty epic. Fletch wins either way.
I feel like he's trying to currently deceive away, devise a way into making that happen.
He's writing he's writing stories behind the camera on his phone right now.
Yep.
Last question. Being you were once a new guy in XCW, you know what it's like to come in, a new crop of people, you don't really know anybody. Obviously, besides Zach, you guys are friends outside wrestling. Mm-hmm. What kind of advice can you give somebody that new as a wrestler wants to come in, try to join XCW? How should they go about it? Or even like someone that wants to come in and be a referee, camera, music, just anybody that wants to be a part of XCW in general. What kind of advice can you give them to try to be a part of the family?
Well, I feel like the biggest advice would be like, no matter how nervous or how like worried you are about doing it, like just do it, commit to it, like give it your all, and eventually it'll, like for me, like I was always nervous, was wondering if I was doing everything right, second guessing myself, but you know, the more I did it, the more comfortable I became, the more easy everything came. It's not just like, hey, I'm gonna go out there, make a big match and make a name for myself. You do just kind of gotta get your foot in the door and kind of work at it a little bit, and that's probably like the biggest thing.
A lot of things I always respected about you and Zach, like that era, newer generation people, like sometimes when it comes to wrestling, you might have a newer guy come in, like, you know, obviously everybody wants to get over, whether you want to get over with the crowd, whether you want to get over with the boss, you want that championship opportunity. They might go into business for yourself, but like you were there, you know, every practice, you were there, tryouts, you worked your ass off. Mm-hmm. Just like Zach, you were thrown into the big situation, EBW storyline, and XCW, you excelled, Zach excelled. Zach kind of had his exit a little ways into it, but you and Zach both did things the right way. Austin back then did things the right way, so that's something I've always respected, and we have someone that I respect a lot right now that kind of reminds me of like a you or a Zach or Austin, and that's his name's Cody Sperling, wrestling in Hunter Halkin. He's very respectful. Always, he works hard. Like, you know, when we're wrestling each other in the mats, like we need to have like test dummies or whatever for moves. Like Hunter's always, he's the one that will take a move. As of yesterday, I did the vertebraker to Hunter. That's one of the 3 moves he said he never wanted to take in XCW, and he trusts Chris Jones, and we did it, and he fucking loved it. I really respect the hell out of Hunter because he reminds me so much of like a you or a Zach. So
I loved learning to take new moves just because it was something fun to do. Like, you don't know how this move works necessarily, but doing that move and learning how to do it and learning how to take it right, it was fun to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And once again, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. Congratulations on being a new father. Bringing new life into the world, man. Even though as bad as it sucks sometimes, the world, that is, not bringing new life in. Something special. So I'm happy for you. You get to be a dad. And thank you for joining me, man. Appreciate it. That's all for us. Join us next time we come back for the final season, episode 10.
Too many thoughts in my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. Killing the game and I gotta go ask anybody, they all heard about it. They know when the kid and he spitting it, know when he getting it, better not get in my way. Got this, I like do whatever I say, cause I could go put you on blast. People been mad at me cause I don't follow them back. I'm laughing cause that is so whack. Why they all trying to act like they been bossing when really their bosses been bossing them up? Nobody ever been telling me what I would do when I keepin' the cash, right the shit out of luck. I want it more, now I get what I wish. Upgrading now with the pants that I whip. Making 6 figures, don't talk about it. Money and shit, it's about how you think. Tired of people who making excuses, then they complain about losing. Tell me about what you been doing, tell me about how you been moving. You ain't got nothing to prove then. I did it all on my own, they looking like all of my clones. I don't be following trends, fuck all the popular clothes. You faking and everyone knows. I just be keeping it real, they thinking that I have to go sign a deal, but really the people just found an appeal. I'm in my own lane and I'm steering the wheel, ayy. It's funny how it goes, funny how it goes. Working every night till the sunrise.